The big news out of Washington, D.C. today is that President-elect Trump is really chomping at the bit. He really wants to tear into these Obama executive orders that have been running the country outside of the control of Congress for the last 7 3/4 years. Well, if he wants to start with the worst one, why don't we start here? The executive order called the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for African Americans. Now, this executive order was really in force long before its official release date, July 26, 2012. Every teacher in America knows what this is in this order, whether they know that's where it comes from or not. This is the order that puts out the whole laundry list of why black students are victims of relentless white racism, mostly from white teachers and white school boards and white students. And that is why black students, there's such a difference between black students and white students in educational performance and in discipline. And because of all that, according to this order, that's why so many black people go to prison in amounts that are wildly out of proportion. The effect of this order was the Department of Justice and Department of Education send teams out all over the country looking for racial disparities. Remember, there's only one reason only for any racial disparity, that is white racism. And they're the ones who are giving the local officials their marching orders, saying, you know, we got to stop criminalizing black students. We have to keep them in school. If a bunch of black students get together and beat up a white kid in school, we shouldn't call the cops on that, because that's just a fight. And we put this kid in prison, we put those kids in prison or in jail or arrest them. That will haunt them for the rest of their life and stop them from becoming the president of IBM. So instead of taking the worst of the worst and grabbing them and taking them out of school and putting them in reform school or somewhere, this executive order essentially gives a lot of local guidance saying, no, keep them in school. The effect? Schools are now a hellhole of mayhem, chaos, violence, even murder. Some directed at teachers, some directed at staff, some directed at administration, some directed at students, some directed at neighbors. But we know for sure that there's in black schools, a lot of black students, there is no learning going on because of this crazy initiative. Why don't we look at a couple of recent stories? We'll start out with two where white students were attacked because they took Trump paraphernalia to their schools.
The high school fight, the results of the presidential election sparking violence from a local person not even old enough to vote. Good afternoon, I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Matt Austin. A 17-year-old in Brevard County is now missing class. Police say he attacked another student who brought a Donald Trump sign to school. So police arrested this teen, Andre Hudson, at Bayside High School in Palm Bay yesterday. News 6 reporter James Sparvero joins us live at the school where this young man was arrested. James?
Really troubling when you think about it, Matt. Police saying what he did to his fellow classmate was just the start of his rage. The attack continued from there.
It was definitely politically motivated. Tensions were running high.
When a Bayside High student brought a Donald Trump sign to school, police say the young supporter of the president-elect was assaulted in gym class.
Went up and unprovoked punched the other student in the face.
And 17-year-old Andre Hudson's anger did not stop there. Police say after the fight, when he was taken to the dean's office, he threw a fit.
And the kid continued to be agitated. He was kicking and
punching file cabinets, shoving a school board official, and violently resisting arrest from the school resource officer. That SRO now off duty for a week or two, recovering from an undisclosed injury. Hudson is now out of school too. A neighbor tells us this is his mother's house, but no one answered when we knocked on the door. Hudson was taken to the juvenile detention center. He's charged with a felony battery count for shoving the school official.
You know, I really like that the students are getting politically involved, and the freedom of speech is really great, but we definitely don't condone violence over differences in opinions over political parties in America, because first of all, we're all Americans, and that's what we're trying to get across.
Hudson had a detention hearing this afternoon at the courthouse in Viera. He was released to his parents, where he must stay confined to their homes, meaning he's not allowed to come back to school here until the investigation is complete.
Next one. There's no video story on it, but there is a video of it. And then here's the story here on the screen. Black woman goes up to a white girl and says, blah, blah, blah. Don't like what you're doing on the Trump stuff. Oh yeah, and I forgot, on that last story, they kind of left out one thing. The black kid who was beating up the unidentified white student. The student was not unidentified, he was white. Other news accounts say the black student, when he was in the office, he was chomping at the bit to get back to the gym so he could beat the hell out of that, quote, white student. Anyway, let's take a look at this, another example of some black on white crime inspired by the recent election returns. And here's another clip. Large-scale black mob violence in this Hazleton school district. They're begging, now they're resorting to begging the students. And here's a school district where the students and the teachers are afraid to go to school.
I showed you this video last night. Students fighting and cursing at teachers at the academy at Shawnee.
Tonight, WDRB's Stefan Johnson explains what the district is now doing about this problem.
We showed you the problem, which is fighting, lots of it. Now we want to show you what JCPS is doing to stop the fights and create a safe learning environment at Shawnee. In case you missed it, this is the disturbing scene that has been playing out at the academy at Shawnee. Several students and parents reached out to WDRB News and shared cell phone video and concerns about the ongoing fighting inside Shawnee.
It's a challenge as a parent because I'm thrown into the situation where how do I protect my child? And I don't know what to do.
It's gotten to the point where the adults, they can't teach us.
We took the video and concerns to top JCPS officials who are well aware of the fighting.
In your professional opinion, is that a healthy learning environment, what's going on at Shawnee?
Yes, I mean, I think that the staff and students and teachers are doing their best that they can day to day. I definitely know that learning happens in the classrooms.
Kathy Zeitz is an assistant superintendent and specifically working with the academy at Shawnee and its new principal to improve the school.
One of my recommendations to her was that I bring down some folks from my team and help spend some time in classrooms, spend some time in the hall, working with administrators, security.
Zeitz is now dividing her time between the Board of Education and Shawnee.
I will be there probably 2/3 of my day, every day. And the design is that we not only just be there.
The plan is to be there and be in constant contact with students. Zeitz believes most of the drama starts on social media and before students ever get to school. So that's part of the new focus.
I know the staff follows social media and really attempts to try to look at anything that might help them, again, predict where there might be issues with particular student groups or even two students.
And when there is an issue, the goal is to take action before students take matters into their own hands.
And kind of grab them as soon as the school day starts and have some conversations.
Meanwhile, students tell us the abuse is not limited to classmates.
Cussing out teachers, threatening them. We had a teacher get her car stolen.
But Zeit says there have been no major complaints from staff.
No one has come up to me and said, I am scared to come to work at Shawnee High School.
A lot of students and parents have reached out to us since the story first aired. WDRB.com education reporter Tony Cons delves deeper into what JCPS is doing to stop the fighting. You can find that story on our website.
So we've done more videos on schools and black violence in schools, black mob violence, black on white crime, black on Asian, black on young, black on old, in schools than any other category here, except maybe for the amount of black violence, harassment, and threatening and taunting directed at cops. Every teacher in America knows this. The teachers are kind of conflicted, right? Because they're down with the cause. As long as the cause happens in another school. But the teachers' unions are around the country are now starting to speak out, whether it's in Milwaukee or Baltimore. 4 teachers attacked every day in Baltimore, in the chocolate district, probably more in Philadelphia. The parents and the teachers' unions are looking at each other and going, we don't know what to do. We can't discipline the students anymore. They know it. The students are dangerous. They're hurting people. 40% of the new teachers in the St. Louis district quit on the first day. All over the country, the same thing. Everybody is pointing finger at this new federal mandate that really doesn't let you discipline black students, because everybody knows black students are victims of white racism. So why would you victimize why would you punish the victim of a crime? And more importantly than that, why would you do anything to make the black kids angry?